Today's shiur will be talking about what does the Torah say about sexual harassment. It's how are you supposed to react to it? So if you take a look at your source sheets, this is the Tractate Sanhedrin 75A1. Tractate Sanhedrin 75A1 actually does speak about it. Everything is in the Torah. We know how fochba, the kulaba, everything is in the Torah. What does the Torah say about sexual harassment? So if you look at the Sanhedrin chapter 8, 75A1, first the Gemara wants to know, that if your life is in danger, what's the greatest mitzvah in the Torah? Staying alive, right? So if you have to stay alive to desecrate the Shabbos or to eat on Yom Kippur, if the question of life and death, you're supposed to transgress all the laws of the Torah to stay alive except the big three, right? Except the big three. So the Gemara here wants to know, what about a non-Jew? A non-Jew, keep the seven, go to heaven. I had the schus to make the movie with Wendell Jones, Echwainu Lavracha, his son Gershom is here, about the seven Noachide laws. Keep the seven, go to heaven. What about a non-Jew? If his life is in danger, is he obligated to give his life? Just like a Jew is for the three cardinal sins, because part of the seven Noachide laws is against what? Murder, and sexual immorality, and avodah zarah, right? Non-Jew cannot worship a dead Jew either, right? Just like we cannot worship a dead Jew, a non-Jew can't worship a dead Jew either. So let's say if they force a Jew to transgress the three cardinal sins, he's obligated to what? Die. What about a non-Jew? If a non-Jew is forced to worship avodah zarah or commit adultery, does he also have to give up his life or not? So that's what the Gemara deals with here. See, the Gemara concludes the proof. You have that on the left side, on 75A1. Vim Asya, and if it were truly so that a Noachite must sanctify God's name by choosing death over engaging in idolatry, then what happened? Remember the story with Naaman and Elisha? Elisha was the general of Syria. Naaman, he had leprosy, right? And Elisha healed him. And this guy, Naaman, was not only healed from physical leprosy, but he was healed what? Spiritual leprosy. He had an amazing change of heart. From being a low-life pagan, he accepted upon himself what? The oldest religion of mankind, which was not Judaism, which was Noachidism. So if you look there in the book of Kings, so he asked Elisha, I want to become a Noachite, but I have a problem, because when I go back to Syria, I'll be forced to worship idols. When I accompany my king to the base of avodah zarah, I'll be forced to what? Worship idols, otherwise I'll be killed. So can I do that? So what did Elisha say to him? He said, Lech l'shalom. Lech l'shalom. Look at footnote number 1. See that? Footnote number 1. Rav Ada cites Elisha's farewell to Naaman as proof that a Noachide is not obligated to what? Die by sanctifying God's name. If Noachites were commanded to sanctify God's name, Elisha would not have told Naaman to what? Go in Lech l'shalom, which conveyed tactical approval of Naaman's bowing down to an idol. He had no choice, otherwise the king would kill him. Such approval could have led Naaman to believe that he was permitted to bow down, because if it was forbidden, Elisha would have violated there's a negative commandment, Lifnei ivel lo titen michshol. You're not allowed to put a stumbling block in front of the blind. Therefore, you cannot tell a non-Jew to worship avodah zarah, because it's putting a stumbling block. So anyway, so the Gemara proves from over here that what? That a non-Jew is not obligated to what? To give up his life. So if what?
Private, it says. Public.
No, a non-Jew, the halacha is that a non-Jew is not obligated to give up his life to sanctify God's name, because there are only 7 Noachide laws. And one of them is not to sanctify God's name. There are 7 Noachide laws. Gershon, you know what they are? Evim and Achai, not to eat flesh or blood from a living animal. Berchat Hashem, not to blaspheme God or the Jewish people. Gimel is Gezel, not to swindle, rob, steal, or cheat. Dalit is to set up courts of law and a police force. That's 4. And then the Avodah Zarah, Gili Arayat Shichas Damim. So Kiddush Hashem is not what? One of the 7 Noachide laws. So therefore the Talmud sees from Elisha's conversation, he said, Lech l'shalom, keep the 7, go to heaven. So if a Jew's life is in danger, he must give up his life for the big 3. But a non-Jew, even though he's forced to worship idolatry, a non-Jew is not obligated, perhaps not even allowed to give up his life, because the greatest mitzvah is to what? To stay alive. So anyway, for sexual immorality, a Jew is obligated to what? Give up his life. A non-Jew is not obligated to give up his life if he's forced to commit any of the sins because he's being forced, and he doesn't have a mitzvah to sanctify God's name like we do. So we said for all the mitzvahs of the Torah, it's v'chai b'hem, v'lo shiyamus b'hem. The Torah says you should live and not die, but the 3 cardinal sins, Maddie, it wouldn't be worth living. Committing the 3 cardinal sins for a Jew would not be what? Worth living. So what about sexual harassment? Take a look at this incredible story over here, the Gemara. You have it with me? It's 75a1. On the left side, the 2nd paragraph, or the 3rd. The Gemara on 74a taught, you have that? Yeah. That one must what? Sacrifice his life rather than engage in what? Sexual immorality. Right? Now the Gemara now states an amazing story. Fasten your seatbelts, Gershom, for this. Omer Yehuda Marav. Yehuda said, name of Rav. Maise ba'adam echad shenosan eina b'isha achat. There was a certain story. A certain man set his eyes upon a certain woman. And he began to harass her. Here, Shirley. Nothing has changed in 2,000 years. And what happened? Vehela liba itina, and he became obsessed with her. I think it's called a stalker. Stalker. Stalker.
How do we know this from the text, though?
Read the text. His heart became obsessed with her, and he couldn't what? Rape her. He just kept harassing her, and he got so sick. He got physically ill. They came and they asked the doctors. He was in danger of dying, and they asked the doctors, how could he be cured? So what did they say, Elisheva? You have the sheet in front of you. What did they say? The doctor said that this guy is such a sicko that there is no remedy for him unless what? He has sexual relations with this woman that he's been harassing. Amru chachamim. So what did the rabbi say? Yomut. It is better that he should what? Drop dead? Yes. And he should not have sexual relations with her. Yes. See that? Footnote number 4. Footnote number 4. Look at that. See footnote number 4? The Gemara will explain why it was absolutely forbidden for this woman to what? To have sex with this guy, even though his life depended on it. Huh? If I can't have her, I can't, what? Can't go on. I'll throw myself off the GW bridge. Right?
Don't do that.
So don't do that, right? So it's better he should die rather than what? Stay tuned. Rivka, don't steal my thunder. Stay tuned. We're not there yet. Now we know that the parsha of the week always speaks to current events. What's current events? Sexual harassment. Every day you hear more coming out of the woodwork. Right? Unfortunately. The parsha of the week, parsha is Vayetze. It says Vayishak Yaakov v'Rochel. Yaakov kissed Rochel. Shelley. I hope he didn't sexually harass her. Then it says Vayevk, and then he began to cry. Why did he cry? He was afraid he would be accused of what? Sexual harassment. Maybe that's why he began to cry. No, that's why he didn't cry, Connie? But why did he cry? And why did he kiss her? He didn't even know her. A kiss on the first date, Yehuda? But why did he kiss her? So, Chava's ahead of me. She's ahead of me. The Evan Ezra points out in Hebrew, you would say, Vayishak Yaakov et Rachel. Ask any Ulpan teacher, B'Tzalel. A real kiss on the mouth would be Vayishak Yaakov et Rachel. It doesn't say that. It says Vayishak Yaakov le Rachel. Yaakov kissed to Rachel. Says Evan Ezra, he blew her a kiss.
Yeah.
The Evan Ezra says, like in France today, they bend down, they make believe they kiss the hand, but they just blow a kiss. So the Evan Ezra says something, maybe Yaakov Avinu was French. He blew her a kiss, Gershom. Isn't that incredible? The Evan Ezra says he blew her a kiss, he bent down to kiss her hand, but he didn't actually do it. Like in France today, they bend down, they don't actually do it, they blow a kiss. So this was the form of greeting, and we know that because it doesn't say Vayishat Yaakov et Rachel, it says Vayishak Yaakov le. That means close but no cigar. Two. Didn't actually kiss her, it was a greeting like the French do today, Yehuda. So you didn't know that Yaakov was French, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, getting back to our subject over here.
Why did he cry?
Why did he cry? He shouldn't be accused of sexual harassment.
Nah. If that
No?
was the custom,
He had a hard
if that was the custom, he wouldn't be accused.
Right, so Rashi says he cried because he saw he's not going to be buried with her.
Right, that's right.
And he also cried that he came penniless. He says that my father's servant came to marry my ma. He came with tons of what? Of jewels. Diamond tennis bracelets. Remember diamond tennis bracelets? And I came with nothing. Why did he come with nothing? So Rashi quotes Chazal that Eliphaz ben Esav mugged him.
That's right.
He mugged him, right?
Right.
Because Eliphaz was sent by his father to kill Yaakov. Says, I don't want to kill you, but I'm a good son. I listen to my paw. So I got to kill you. So he says, you don't have to kill me. The Gemara in the Dorim says, Ani choshev kemet. A poverty-struck poor person is considered Yehuda like what? Dead. So take all my money. You can tell your paw that you what? You killed me. Because a poor person is considered dead. Why is a poor person can't he considered dead? Why? Because he can't do chesed. Remember we said there's a pasuk in Tehillim, Gershom Olam Chesed Yibaneh. The reason that God created the world as a stage, the world's a stage. Who said that? Before Shakespeare? No, King David said it. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. God built the world as a stage in order people should do chesed for each other.
That's right.
A poor person cannot do chesed.
They can in a different way.
Connie, he can't do chesed, so chesed, you can visit a sick person in the hospital, doesn't cost you any money, right?
Right.
So, of course he cannot do chesed, he can't give tzedakah because he's poverty-struck.
Right.
But he can't even do chesed that doesn't demand money. If he can't pay his bills, he's afraid his electricity and water are going to be shut off. He'll be afraid to be thrown out into the street. Does he have a mind to visit a sick person in the hospital?
No.
Does he have a mind to what? To do nicham avelim? He's afraid they're going to shut off his water and electricity. They'll throw him out in the street. So a person like that cannot do chesed either way. So let's get back to our sexual harassment story over here, Yehuda. So the left side, you have it? Two alternative suggestions were offered, but each was rejected. You have that? Talmud lafonav aruma. I think it's called an indecent proposal. Let her stand before him what? Naked as a jaybird. Perhaps that alone will appease him. This is in the Gemara. It's incredible. So the Talmud says, Yomut v'al tamid lafonav aruma. The sages ruled it's better his guy should kick the bucket and not let her stand before him naked.
That's good.
Right?
Yeah.
Now the top of the Gemara here, it's the right side, 75a1. You with me? Tesapre imo machore hageder. Let her then converse with him from behind what? A barrier. Maybe that will what? Cure him. Yomut. What does that mean? Let him croak and let her not converse with him behind a barrier. Why not? Now the Gemara comments on the marital status, Rivka, of the women in question. Pligi bar Rav Yaakov, Rav Shmuel bar Nachmani. What was the status of this woman? Chad Amar Eshet Ishaita. One said the woman was a married woman, and thus forbidden to the victim on pain of death, right? One of the 3 cardinal sins, right, Yehuda? The Chad Amar Penuya. But the other says, no, she was what? Single, unmarried. And nevertheless, the rabbis forbade her from even what? Talking. Why? She's a single girl. The Gemara analyzes 2 views. Bishloma, you have it on the right side. Bishloma lamandi amar eshes ishaita shapir. I understand if the woman was what? Married. One must indeed give his life rather than what? Keep company with a married woman. See? Wow. Look at note number 5, Yehuda. A person must sacrifice his life not only to avoid actually having relations with a married woman, but even to avoid what? What's ancillary prohibitions? Avram, Yehuda, ancillary. For this reason, it's forbidden to gaze at an unclothed erva or to talk with her in order to derive pleasure from the contact.
Who suggested she should stay in the photo?
What? The doctor said that would cure him. The doctor said it. Sounds like a pervert doctor. Sounds like a pervert doctor, right? Pervert doctor, yeah. Yeah.
This is in the Torah.
Right? So, you see, human nature has not changed in 2,000 years, right, Gershom? So, right?
So we're stepping up.
We're stepping down, what? Or what?
Women are stepping up. We've had enough.
Women have enough. They're finally, fighting back, right? So anyway, Laman Yoma Penuya Hoita, but according to the one who said that the woman was what? Unmarried, my kulihai. What was the reason for all of these stringencies? Why indeed did the sages forbid the aforementioned remedies? The Gemara answers, Rav Papa says what? Mishim pegam mishpacha. The sages didn't allow it because of the disgrace of the woman's family. What does that mean? See note 6? Note 6, Yudah. What does it say there? A family feels disgraced when one of its members acts immodestly. The sages therefore rule that what? The man should rather die because it would have been improper for the woman to save the man's life at the cost of disgracing herself and her family.
That's right.
Wow. Now, back in the Gemara now, another explanation. You have that, Yehuda? The other explanation? Rav Acha Beredi Rav Yika Omar, Kidei Shloyil B'nois Yisrael Perutzais Barayot. The sages did not allow it so that the daughters of Israel should not be immodest to be sexually harassed. Better let the harasser die to protect the honor of what? Of women. So the rabbis were 2,000 years ahead of what? Of the modern society, right? Rather let the harasser die that the woman should not be exposed to what? Shame and sexual harassment. Look at note number 7, Elisheva. I think it's circled, number 7. The rabbis did not want Jewish women to act in a lewd manner, to show off their physical beauty to men, or to accept what? Indecent proposals. Remember that movie? Indecent proposal. Wow.
Jewish director.
Oh, yeah. To prevent these lewd practices from taking hold in the Jewish community, the sages decreed that the man should not even gaze at the woman, even though this restraint would kill him. Yeah. So look how far the Chazal were concerned, Maddie, with what? With the honor of women. All the laws of Yichud, why are they there? To protect the honor and the dignity of women. Look how Chazal foresaw. A woman goes up to a man's hotel room. What does she expect? Well, she go. I mean, the laws of Yichud protects the honor and the dignity of what? Of women. But today you say it's old-fashioned to keep the laws of Yichud. It's not true. So now the Gemara challenges the view that the woman was unmarried. You see that, Yehuda? The bottom of 75a1 on the right side. The Gemara challenges the view that the woman was what? Unmarried. But if the woman was unmarried, turn the page, then what? Then turn to page 75a2, Yehuda, then what? Should simply have married her. he then could have had legally.
What if she didn't want?
Look at note number, we're talking she did want.
Why did she marry
What? Well, he's going to give her $1 million. What? Look at footnote 8. Marriage would have cured the man's condition without encouraging immodest behavior. For there's nothing immodest about a husband and a wife, lovey-dovey. We're talking she agreed. Since this idea was not suggested, she must have been what? Married. So what does the Gemara answer, Yehuda? The Gemara answers, you have it in the 75a2?
Yep.
His mind would not have been settled by marriage.
No.
Why not? Look at note number 9, Yehuda. Look at note number 9. Marriage would not have satisfied his perversion.
That's right.
And he would have died anyway. Why is that? Kid Rabbi Yitzchak. Look how Chazal knew human nature. You have it? Kid Rabbi Yitzchak. Doma Rabbi Yitzchak. Miyom shechora Beit HaMikdash. From the day the Holy Temple was destroyed, Nitla Tam Bia. What does that mean, Yehuda? The enjoyment of what? Of sexual intimacy was taken away from married people. V'nitla la'avda aveira. And given over to what? To what? Sinners. Wow. Look at note number 10. Ever since the temple was destroyed and the Jewish people exiled, and they have been beset by troubles and anxiety that sap their energy. And since a man needs energy to fully enjoy intimacy with his wife, he does not enjoy the pleasure of intimacy that was enjoyed in former good times when the temple was standing. The desire for illicit sexual relations remains strong, however, because one's evil inclination makes the sin seem what? Desirable. So back in the text, Shenema, this is actually a pasuk in Mishlei. There's a pasuk in Mishlei, Rivka, Mayim genovim taku, Velechem setorim yinam. What does King Solomon say in Mishlei? Stolen waters are sweet, and the bread of secrecy is what? Pleasurable. Now what does that mean, Yehuda? Footnote number 11. You with me or again me? Footnote number 11 of them. You have a paper? It's important to see it inside. No more papers? Footnote 11. Mishlei, Yehuda. What does Mishlei say here? You see that? Footnote 11, Gershom. Scripture occasionally uses the term bread as an allusion to a woman. In this verse too, the phrase bread of secrecy refers to adulterous sexual intimacy with a married woman. Because adultery is always committed. What does surreptitiously mean, Avram? Surreptitiously, what?
Secretly.
Hey, it's a good thing you came now. I wouldn't know what I mean. Thus, the verse is teaching that adultery is more enjoyable than what? Than intimacy of a married. This explains Donald Trump, Harvey Weinstein. They have beautiful wives. What do they need it for? No, the Gemara says this. But no, Trump's wife and Harvey Weinstein's wife, they're knockouts. So what do they need it for, David? Because stolen waters are what? Stolen waters are sweet. In Pashas told us what should be done to a sexual harasser. In Pashas Toldot, Genesis 26, we read it last week. Vayitzav Avimelech kol ha'am. Avimelech, the king of the PLO, remember Rivka was a knockout, remember? He commanded his people, Genesis 26, Hanageya b'isha zeh v'ishto, anyone that harasses this man or his wife, mot yumat. Mot yumat. Should be put to death. So the king of the PLO said anyone who harasses Yitzchak or Rivka shall be put to death. Why? What kind of capital crime did he commit? If you look in Sanhedrin chapter 8, you don't have it on your sheet. If someone is breaking into your home, you're permitted to what? Kill him. And not just you, chol adam. Someone, you see someone breaking into someone's house, the balabayas can certainly kill the person. V'af l'chol adam. And any person who sees the break-in is permitted to kill the person. Why? Because he has a din like a what? A rodef. Chol adam. Now the Mishnah adds on, in the end of chapter 8, Yehuda, the Mishnah gives other sexual sins that a person can be killed for, because he has a din like a rodef. Muta l'chol adam l'hargoi. Not just the victim has a right to kill the pursuer, but any person who sees the following crime about to be committed, muta l'chol adam l'hargo. Any person is allowed to kill what? The pursuer. Haroidef acha hargo. You don't have it inside, but it's chapter 8 in Sanhedrin. If you see someone is pursuing another person to kill him, you hear this? Or you see someone pursuing a person to commit homosexual rape, or rape with a woman, muta lahargo. He didn't do it yet. He didn't do it yet. He's chasing someone to kill, to commit homosexual rape or rape of a woman, muta lahargo. Not only the victim, but any person is permitted to what? To take out this pervert. Why is that? Because the rapist or the molester has a din rodef. You hear this? Normally, you're not allowed to kill a person. We don't believe in vigilantism, right? But if there's a victim, if someone wants to rape a person, a male or female, or wants to kill a person, then that person has a din like a rodef, and therefore his life is what? Forfeit. Even though he didn't commit the crime yet. You hear that? So these sexual perverts have a din like a rodef.
Because they chase after him.
That's right. So they have a din like a rodef, and therefore they should be stopped. If you can stop them without killing him, you have to do that. But they should definitely be stopped one way or another, because they have a din like what? A rodef.
And what does that mean in English?
A rodef means a pursuer, a harasser, a stalker. Something after you to kill you or to commit rape, right? So he has a din like a pursuer, and therefore he is allowed to be killed even without trial. Because you're allowed to, there's a halacha that you saved in nirdaf by eliminating the rodef. What does nirdaf mean? The pursued. His life comes first. Normally you don't kill one to save the other. But as a rodef and a nirdaf, Yehuda, you do take out the rodef in order to what? Save the nirdaf. To save the one that's being pursued. Yes, what's your question?
So if you're telling me, since the temple was destroyed, there are men that are all perverted. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that once the temple is destroyed, the sexual pleasure was reduced when it's legal, and the allure, that's why there's so many perverts now, even though they have beautiful wives, but it's the allure of the forbidden fruit that makes, turns somebody on. It's the idea of, because it's illegal. But your tafkid is to what? To control yourself.
Yeah.
To control yourself, right? But the Talmud is just saying that the Yetzer Hara for something forbidden is stronger than if it's legal. We know that. That's human psychology.
So women should tell these men, control yourself.
Control yourself, bug off, or I'll blow you away. Or I'll blow you away, right?
Oh,
Right? Now,
But let's be modest. Let's do the other half.
What about all these
Yes,
stories
of course.
of rabbis who did things like that? And the institution refused to recognize
so they cover it up. Nebuch, you have stories where the sexual abuse cases cover up in Melbourne, in the Chabad school. Terrible stories. Have you heard the stories? Yerushalayim also? You have to go to Melbourne, right?
even in like YU.
Unfortunately. So may or should one report a sexual molester even though he's a rabbi? Or is it Lashon Hara? If you know that a rabbi is molesting kids or harassing women, should you report him, or is it Lashon Hara? Is it Lashon Hara or any person? You're ruining his reputation, you're ruining his family. Right? So should you or may, or should you report? So the answer is yes. Who tells us that? Yechavedat. Rav Avadia Yosef Zechus Lagavrach has a whole tshuva on this. He says in something incredible. When is Lashon Hara a mitzvah? Should I repeat that, Maddie? He says as follows. This is in Yechavadas Chelik Dalit Simin Samach Yehuda. He says as follows. Even though Avodah Zarah, Lashon Hara is as severe as the 3 cardinal sins, and even if you say the truth, Lashon Hara is one, but it's true. It's true. That's Lashon Hara. But he says as follows. Mechol mokom nireh shekol zeh ofen shemischaven rak lahashmitz es chavero v'levato. When is it Lashon Hara? When your kavanah is to bashmutzim. How do you say that in English? Hashmitz. To what? You hate the guy. You want to defame him, to destroy his reputation because you hate him. Then it's Lashon Hara. Even if it's true, it's Lashon Hara. Aval. But im mischaven l'toyelet. How do you say that in English? Avram. L'toyelet. Oy laharchik nezek mutar. To prevent, the guy's a stalker, a perverter, a molester. You're doing it not to bashmutzim. There's a toyelet. You want to save people from what? From being harmed and destroyed. Mutar. And he brings a raya. The Rambam says anyone who sees his friend drowning and he can save him, he can swim, and he doesn't, don't stand by when you see the blood of your friend being spilled. Therefore, if you see someone drowning or being attacked and you can save him, says Rambam, and you don't, you transgress a negative commandment. Don't stand by when you see your friend in danger. Okay? And he quotes the Torah, the Shulchan Aruch. They all say that. And then he says, not only is it permitted, mitzvah. There's a mitzvah to speak Lashon Hara if your motive is what? To save the potential victim. And he brings an amazing raya. The Vadia Yosef does Chatzal. In Parshas Kedoshim Yehuda, in the same pasuk it says, Lo telech rochel beyamecha. Don't be a talebearer among your people. Lo tamat adam reyecha. Don't stand by when your brother's blood is being spilled. So why is it in the same verse, Gershom? Why the same verse? Don't be a talebearer and don't stand by when your friend's blood is being spilled. Why is it in the same pasuk in Parshas Kedoshim, Avram? Says Rabbi Yosef, even though you're not allowed to speak what? Lashon Hara. Mikol makom. Lo tamot adam reyecha. Don't stand by when you see your friend's blood being spilled. Ve'elechol hoidia lechavercha. Don't be a talebearer, but don't stand by the blood of your friend. That if you don't expose this pervert, he will what? Be spilling blood. Because these children that are molested, their lives are ruined. Some of them commit suicide. Or they become molesters. So if you don't speak up, says Rabbi Yosef, you're standing by allowing the victim's blood to be spilled. You hear this? So therefore, it's a mitzvah to go to the authorities and turn in this pervert. Unfortunately, in Melbourne, the Chabad school kept covering up of these pervert rabbis. And there was a Rebbetzin there that kept molesting women, girl students. And they covered up for her because they said, I can't speak Lashon Hara. Connie, that's fadreit. That's not Lashon Hara. That's protecting innocent victims. The Chofetz Chaim HaKadosh, who wrote the book on what? So he said 100 years ago, Yehuda, 100 years ago, 1917. He said, Olam hafuch ra'iti. What does that mean? Upside down world. He says, when people are not allowed to speak Lashon Hara, they shoot their mouths off nonstop. When they have to speak Lashon Hara, all of a sudden they clam up. The Chofetz Chaim is saying this. He's saying that you know the guy is a pervert, right? Or you know the guy is a swindler. first-hand experience. Or you know, if you're the guy's doctor, you know he has VD. And he's about to get married. You're not going to speak up to the Kala that the guy has AIDS or VD. Then there's a mitzvah to talk. Chofetz Chaim says then they become frum. When you're not allowed to talk Lashon Hara, they shoot their mouth off. But that's why the Yetzer Hara works. When you have to speak, all of a sudden you what? You clam up. You can't talk. I had a cousin of mine that she married this guy. So my uncle went to ask the Rosh Yeshiva about this boy, right? Rosh Yeshiva said, oh, he's a very good boy. He's a learner and he has good midot. Right after the wedding, the guy is a monster. The Rosh Yeshiva knew that the guy is what? A kleptomaniac and a pervert and a psycho, but he said, I can't speak Lashon Hara. So my poor cousin had to fall in, and a few weeks later they got divorced. He took her for a ride, and don't ask what happened. But there's stories like that where the Rosh Yeshiva knows who the guy is, and he doesn't want to say because it's Lashon Hara. Then it's not Lashon Hara. Then it's Lo Tamot Adam Rayecha. Don't stand by and allow an innocent girl to fall victim. Or you know that this guy is a swindler. You were in business with him 40 years, and when he shook your hand, you had to count your fingers.
Wow.
So, and you went out of business. A guy asked you, you were in business with this Yankel Shmerel 40 years, right? Is he honest? What are you going to say? Avram, I can't speak Lashon Hara. Then you have to say what? Listen, when he was my partner, he swindled me. Halavai, you did tshuva. Is that Lashon Hara? It's not Lashon Hara, it's Lashon Tov. It's only when you have first-hand knowledge, not hearsay. You have to have first-hand knowledge. You know for a fact that he swindled you, or you know that he's like the principals know that these people are being are molesters. You say Jerusalem, I thought it's only in Melbourne.
Why? Oh no, and in America.
In America.
Of course it went on
It's
in
everywhere.
I know somebody.
What? And the principal kept covering up Yehuda. But that's wrong. The principal who covered up spilled innocent blood. These kids are being molested, and they just covered up for the rabbis. And Nebuchadnezzar Rebbitzin too. Can you imagine a Rebbitzin pervert? What are we coming to, Maddie? What are we coming to?
If you kill a rapist,
Right.
are you guilty of murder?
No, you killed a rodef.
The thing is,
According to Jewish law, you are completely right.
You have to kill him in the
What
process.
about,
You can't kill him after.
You can't kill him afterwards.
what?
You can't kill him afterwards. That's vigilante. Yehadut doesn't allow vigilante. He's in pursuit before he does the act, or while he's in the middle of the act, you can kill him. But if the act is done, you're not allowed to kill him. Then you have to take him to the police. Right?
You only know after.
No. If in the process of the rape, you're allowed to kill him. But if the rape is done, once the act is done, then you're not allowed to kill him. Avram, then you're not allowed to kill him.
Look,
Right? Then you have to bring him to the police station.
she's going to kill him? Is she in the position to kill him?
Well, hopefully she has a hatchet in her hand.
She doesn't. Let's be practical.
Hopefully, right?
She
Or
doesn't-
someone else who sees it is allowed to kill him. But not after the fact. After the fact, then you have to turn him into the police. Right? Where is there a posuk aryeh in the Torah that the Torah says a sexual predator must be exposed? There's a posuk in Parshas Balak, Bamidbar 25, after the wild Moabite women incident. Remember that?
Right.
Vayomer Hashem al Moshe. God says to Moshe, Kach kol roshei ha'am, take all the chiefs of the people, v'hoka otam lashem, and hang them up, hang them high, neget hashemesh, facing the sun. So even if the sexual predator is a rosh ha'am, what does that mean? A big cheese. Rosh ha'am. You're supposed to hang them, neget hashemesh. What does that mean? You want to give him a suntan? What do you mean, neget hashemesh? Says Rashi, le'en kol. Even though he's a big cheese, he's a chief rabbi, you're supposed to, neget hashemesh, Rashi says, is a metaphor, le'en kol. What does that mean? Expose him, shame them in public. Don't give them a suntan. Even a Rosh Ha'am, the VIP CEO, CFO of Harvey Weinstein Incorporated, no matter how big cheese you are, he has a din like a rodef. And the Torah says you must expose them and shame them publicly. An open pasuk in the what? In the Torah. By Midbar 25. So the problem is that people are what? They think they're more religious than God. When you're supposed to speak Lashon Hara, it's not Lashon Hara. And when you're not allowed to speak Lashon Hara, then they speak. The Chofetz Chaim already complained about that.
Do we know why it was nitna la'ovrei avera?
What?
After the Holy Temple was destroyed, nitla ta'ambi'ah,
Right.
the nitna la'ovrei, the enjoyment of intimacy was taken.
It means the heightened enjoyment. Of course it's pleasurable when you do it legally, but it's not as pleasurable as it used to be. Why? Look at footnote 10. Let's go to footnote 10. You to 75A2, footnote 10. You have that?
Yeah.
Ever since the temple was destroyed and the Jewish people exiled, they have been beset by troubles and anxieties that sap their energy. And since a man needs energy to fully enjoy intimacy with his wife, he does not enjoy the pleasure of intimacy as much as it used to be in good times when the temple was standing. The desire for illicit relations remains strong, however, because one's evil inclination makes the sin desirable. So of course it's pleasurable, but not as it used to be. Bring back the good old days. Something to look forward to, Sharona, right? When the temple's rebuilt,
Why is it called?
people won't have to be the wanderer. Remember that? I'm the wanderer. Won't have to wander. Run around Sue. Remember that? Run around Sue? The temple be rebuilt, Betzalel. Bring back the good old days. Right? That's a good reason to daven for the Mashiach, Yehuda, right? So we'll be able to enjoy it more with our wives, and we won't have to be like Lahavdil, Harvey Weinstein, Lahavdil, and others, what? But anyway, good afternoon, thank you.